Hey everyone, Sarah here. So I'm here to set up my planner, my notebook really, for the week of the 20th of March 2023. So this is Plan the Grind, Sarah, if you're new here. And I treat everything like a project. So basically, I'm just really doing my project planning at this point. Um, I've moved away from a traditional planner because I wasn't using the daily pages and also because I wanted two weekly views and I wanted it to be chronological order with my notes. So, and then also basically I'm using OneNote for a lot of things now, so I'm really trying to simplify it a lot, which I feel really good about the simplification of my planning process here. So I'm just going to walk you through it a little bit. You can see that I have just a running to-do list and I'm checking off all the things that I have done so far. And also, I'm just brain dumping all the to-dos that I have to do, basically. That's kind of what I'm doing here. And earlier, you saw me kind of flipping back and forth through my notes. And I will say it's a little bit light this week because I was out with COVID, so I don't have much to-dos in my notebooks, but I'm basically just wrangling the to-dos at this point. So I looked through my notebooks, added anything that I thought of, and I'm also now looking at Microsoft Planner up on my monitor. So I use Planner to manage my portfolio for work, all my projects and my team's projects for work. So I'm really just looking at the headers of those projects and I'm writing down the next steps for each of them. And now I'm looking at my mind map of my life. I kind of call this my ecosystem. And I'm really just using that to jog my memory for any to-dos for my goals. I know this seems kind of weird that I'm using the mind map to jog my memory, but I know it's the birthday week for my kids, and I was like, oh, geez, I gotta get birthday cakes, right? for for their birthdays because they're both have birthdays in the next like 10-ish days. So anyway, so I'm just writing down all my like to-do lists from that are jogging my memory from looking at my mind map for my goals this year. And then I'm also using that timeline to understand kind of the timing of my projects, right? And why I have them scheduled that way. And this is helping me to manage my workload, just a balanced workload. So at work, I try to not have a ton of like active, heavy stuff at give any given time. So I try to like break it up a little bit, stagger them as much as I possibly can. And because I'm not super stressed out. So that's why I have those timelines there just to see the layouts. And that's also helping me kind of jog my memory of like, what am I going to get done? So those are some of the tools that I use to kind of calm the chaos and wrap my arms around everything. And now you'll see that I have my generic Hobonichi here. And really what I'm doing is I love this layout. I can't not have it. You see me using the little green notebook, but that was really not working for me. So I'm like, you know what? I just created a template and now I'm just copy and pasting. I mean, I'm not copying and pasting. I wish I could, but I'm just putting in the lines and as a template. That's a whole other thing. Anyway, I'm putting in my schedule and this week feels a little bit light because I've been traveling a lot. So right now, like it's just I'm spending my time at some sites. And so I'm keeping my calendar, my weekly view very light because that's my main priority is the site. And so there's not a lot on my calendar because I don't have like a lot of active meetings going on. I'm more like in the weeds on the site. So there's not a lot going on. I do have a couple key trainings this week that I have to put some stuff together for. And I'm really doing this because I like to understand like my pockets of time. And also, I like to understand how many free hours I have. A little bit geeky here, but of an 8-hour work day, how many free hours do I have in that 8-hour work day? And then in my personal time, how many free hours of my personal time do I have? And that also just helps me get kind of real. Like if I have 7 hours worth of meeting, my to-do list for that day is not going to be high. Like I'm just going to have realistic expectations of myself. Um, so that's kind of why I really love this view because it really paints the picture for me. Um, And you see me doing a little bit of a pre-planning here. So based on that training I have on Wednesday, I know that I need to send out some pre-work on Monday. So that's like my top three. It must happen Monday. And I thought of some other idea, other to do, so I just threw it in there. Um, and I thought of another one, so I just threw it in there. This is basically my planning. It's just flipping around the pages. So here's where I'm counting out the hours. So I'm just roughly putting in, like, I have 6 free hours of work, like unscheduled time at work. So I can make some headway on some stuff. And then, like that Wednesday, I have like a big training. So it's just 1 free hour of work hours. And you could see the three. So that's like 3 hours free after work. So it's my work and personal time. Again, it's just giving me a kind of a idea about like what do I have to work with towards my goals? Like what do I have to work with available to me to work towards the goal? This is kind of managing those daily activities with those project work. Um, so I'm putting in my weekly goals, and these are really just structured around um, like where I need to be in my projects or my goals, personal, family, whatever, right? So I just keep the like myself in check for each week. Like, where do I need to be? This is really the key that keeps me kind of on top of things. I'm not saying I am always achieving that stuff. I certainly am not. But it keeps me not so far behind, if you will, or at least on track. And you can see I don't have a lot going on, like on my health. So I do have a lot of free hours this week, but I'm still gonna try to have the right mindset because I am getting over COVID and I'm tired, frankly. So I know that I'm not going to be able to do some of the things I want. And I also am still in my like don't want to really leave the house phase, if you will. So that's my weekly buckets and kind of keeping myself on track of what I'm hoping to accomplish each day. I mean, this week for each area of my life. And I don't know. So some of the examples I have is like for my own personal self, I would really like to paint my living room this weekend. I have just not been doing so much work lately that um like the mental load at work has been high. So I have kind of been taking it easy on myself for my personal goals. So here I'm just kind of thinking through of the meetings I have, is there any agendas I have to send out? Is there any prep work I have to do? Because that's normally where I'm going to start putting in my top three. And I did put like one to do, like water the plant Wednesday. I don't know, that's in my mind, I do that. My plants are looking good, but I'm a little like all over the place with watering them. So I'm trying to get back into my routine of water the plant Wednesday. Um, yeah, I'm just counting my weekend hours. This is what made me feel like I should really paint this weekend. So again, just kind of counting those hours, seeing the lay of the land, how it works, and then a little bit of pre-planning. So my top three are like things I have to get done, and my to-dos are just the general things. And then I have a section for inbox, and that's kind of that incoming section. So I hope you like this, and I'm curious, what do you think about this new layout? I love the two-sided dashboard, like the weekly hour buckets, the visual view, and then also my basically my dashboard for each day.